What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson back with the latest and greatest from the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Thursday, March 30th, the penultimate day of the month of March, and we are now 28 days away from the 2023 NFL Draft. And we had a lot to discuss in Commanders land this week. We had a great stream on Louis T's channel last night. Me, Rico from Street Scores, and the real Ed Oliver. Appreciate Lou and the fellas for having the boy come through for a Commanders King stream. We went for 3 hours strong, talking all things Commanders. It was lit in the chat. I can't wait to do it again. Hopefully, I'm organizing, getting something together so we can wrap up the draft either the Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday following the NFL draft if we have any voice or energy left, because we take the draft serious around these parts. My draft party is going to be lit per usual. We're going to be at my boy's house, me, Tay, Todd, Jalen, my boy Zach, the group chat boys. We're going to be reacting live to the whole night one of the draft. Make sure y'all tune in. Fight for all DC. But the topic of today is a point that we hit on last night in Louis T's stream. And I think it's time that we have an honest conversation about things, because if you've seen Ron Rivera or listened closely every time he was asked about the Chase Young fifth-year option, he seems very timid and tentative to give a concrete answer. And yes, I know coaches put on poker faces and it's lying season, all that. And I'm also pretty positive they pick up Chase's fifth-year option, but the fact that they have to think about picking up the fifth-year option, and it's not just a given to just give him $17 million, which is a discount when it comes to elite, top shelf, top of the league market value at the edge position. It's a little worrisome, and I think it's time we have a real honest discussion about 99, what he can be, and what he's become so far in his career. We drafted Chase Young with the second overall pick in the 2020 draft, the COVID draft. The type of shit I never want to see again. I never want to see Roger Goodell sitting on his lazy boy on national TV reading off draft picks without being booed by an audience of thousands. Never want to see it again. Never want to see sports again played against an empty arena or empty stadium. But number 2 overall pick, Ron Rivera's first year in Washington, Ron Rivera's first pick here in Washington was Chase Young. Chase Young played for 3 team names. He was drafted by the Redskins, played for the football team, and now plays for the Commanders. But he's been a Washington guy through and through. He's a local guy from Upper Marlboro, Maryland. Went to DeMatha High School in Ohio State, where he absolutely dominated. He won the Bednarik. He won all the awards and got all the accolades for what he did in college at Ohio State, and was touted to be the next in the line of elite pass rushers from Ohio State University after the Bosa brothers, and was tagged with the scarlet letter of draft prospect tags, which is generational. And he came in and got off immediately to a fast start here in Washington. His first game versus the Philadelphia Eagles, I remember it like it was yesterday. He had a sack and a half. He forced a fumble. I think he forced 2. No, he recovered 1 and he forced 1. Him and Kerrigan and them boys, they had a sack party on Carson Wentz in his debut. His rookie season was electric. He ended up with 7.5 sacks, and he won the Defensive Rookie of the Year. And we thought we were on our way to seeing the next Von Miller, the next Khalil Mack, the next Bosa brothers, and then we got into his sophomore season. And yes, sophomore slumps are to be expected in this league after the NFL gets a year of tape on you, a year of study work, case study on you. They know your moves, they know your tendencies, they know your strengths, they know your weaknesses. But let's, put a magnifying glass. Let's circle the word weaknesses. There are fans that do not accept that Chase Young does have weaknesses, and he does. He has very glaring and his weakness, his main weakness, his kryptonite is that Chase Young lacks an array of pass rush moves, and he lacks a pass rush plan. Now, when I say pass rush plan, what does that mean? So the common fans are gonna say, "What do you mean pass rush plan? He's trying to get the quarterback." No, listen. He doesn't really have a plan of execution. He's just out there trying to out-athlete and out-muscle dudes every day. And that works when you're at DeMatha Catholic High School in Ohio State, where you're always the prettiest girl in the room. So the prettiest girl in the room syndrome is very expected of a player like this. But when you get to the NFL and these tackles have feet and move like wide receivers and running backs, that shit's not going to cut on the next level. The couple tackle, NFL tackle, the NFL quality tackles that he played in college, Rashawn Slater and them, his weaker games came against guys like that. And at the next level, you see Chase is still an absolute dog in the run game, as is Montez Sweat. In the run game, Chase is always there and present. But let's call it what it is. In the pass rush, on passing downs, Chase is very invisible. He gets taken out of plays quick. That motor that doesn't stop on run plays and that we see most of the time, you don't see it on pass plays, because if he can't beat you off of his first step, he has nothing for you. There's no hand technique. There's no swim, rip, smack move. Literally, the only play we've ever seen Chase Young show a pass rush plan was that preseason snap against Cam Newton versus the Patriots the year he got hurt. This dude whipped Isaiah Wynn's ass off the ball. I think he had like a rip or a spin move, smacked his hand out the way, got to Cam, put Cam's dick in the dirt. Never saw that move again for the duration of the 10 weeks he played that year. And I know there's more than sack production, but when you're taken with the second overall pick of the draft, you're not given the same benefit of the doubt, or let's say of a guy like Montez Sweat or a guy like a second or third round edge rusher. We can't hold him to that same accountability of those guys. You take a guy with the second overall pick, he has to be the one. He has to be the guy. Same as if you draft a quarterback there. You're not going to draft a quarterback with the second overall pick and accept him having the production of Zach Wilson. No, sir, because the first pick in that draft was Trevor Lawrence, and they're always going to be compared to each other. We're looking at Chase Young's draft. Who got picked the one pick before Chase Young? Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow has his team in Super Bowl contention every year. Do they play different positions? Absolutely, but the impact and the accountability we hold them on, the level that we hold them on, has to be the same. We cannot give this guy an excuse because we like him and because he's from the area. He has not produced, guys. He's had 9 sacks in 28 games played, and 7.5 of those came his rookie year. 10 weeks played before the ACL tear in 2021. He had 1.5 sacks. I know there's a log jam of sacks to go around on a defensive line that's crowded with talent, but Montez Sweat gives you the 7 to 9 a year. Deron Payne and Allen have shown both capable of double-digit sacks a year. So what the fuck is the excuse that we cannot get double-digit sacks from the generational tabbed talent known as Chase Young? This is not me hating. This is not me wishing for the downfall of Chase Young, which some people are going to do because this sycophantic fan hive culture where players or fans obsess over and attach themselves to these players instead of objectively look at them is going to tell you that this is hating. This is not hating. This is me wishing that we could get an elite season or two out of Chase Young. You have to pick up the 5th-year option because at least, at bare minimum, you have to get through his rookie contract in totality. It's a no-brainer. You pick up the contract, and if he continues on the trajectory that the coaching staff and that the objective fans see him on, that after his 5th year, he's gone, and Montez Sweat got the long-term extension. Or You pick up the 5th-year option, and this year he goes crazy. He goes absolutely berserk. He finally starts to look like the guy you drafted him to be number 2, to absolutely wreck games, wreck game plans, and wreak havoc on quarterbacks, running backs in the backfield, forcing turnover. He becomes the guy we expected him to be coming out of DeMatha in Ohio State. That's the best case scenario. But realistically speaking, his ACL tear was not an ACL tear like a regular one. Joe Burrow and Nick Bosa, they've managed to come back strong off of ACL tears because they did not also tear the patella tendon and need a patella graft from the other knee just to reconstruct the knee in their leg. So I guess we can throw away the 3 games he played last year, which I won't totally do, but those are his first 3 games back. But even in those 3 games he played, you still see the same traits. You still see the same guy. In the run game, relentless motor, always during the play. He's chasing down Christian McCaffrey across the field. On passing downs, you rarely see him near the quarterback. Montez Sweat has problems finishing at the quarterback, but what he doesn't have a problem doing is getting to the quarterback. And that is Chase Young's problem in a nutshell. He does not have a consistent way to manufacture a pass rush, and he lacks rush moves and rush versatility. What I want out of Chase Young is to have a quiet offseason. Just work, baby. Just work. I don't want to see you out with rappers and shit all the time and doing a celebrity world tour, because Chase is a professional celebrity. That man has star power for days. You saw him FaceTime Mark Wahlberg on that segment they did last year. He does not lack star power at all. I don't want to see you in the car with Fat Trail, who recently got released from prison, the moments after we lose a game. I don't want to see that on your Instagram story. And I know it comes with the life, but I don't want to see it. Keep that shit to yourselves, man. Like, I don't want to see you missing off-season training activities to shoot an eBay commercial that nobody's seen. I don't want to see that. I want Chase front and center, first in line, leading the team, because you are the unofficial face of the franchise to a lot of fans. I think Terry and Jonathan Allen are, but to a lot of people, this is the face of the franchise. To the casuals and to the national media who doesn't know shit about the comings and goings here in Ashburn and in the DMV, Chase Young is the face of the franchise. He's the generational talent, and they don't know that he hasn't reached what he was drafted to be yet, and that is all I'm asking for as a fan. I want Chase to live up to expectations. I want Chase to be an easy double-digit sack guy, turnover, havoc creator. That is what I want from 99. Love Chase Young. Want to see Chase Young do great, but I'm very pessimistic and I'm very concerned about how much burst he has left after that injury, because that shit made his leg look cooked. It looks like every down he played last year, on the back of his mind, he was thinking about that knee. And that's a mental thing that doesn't really go away. You're always going to think about it, because that was not a regular ACL tear. And if the production already started to dip pre-ACL, it's not very likely that we see that spike in production we hope for post-ACL and patella graft. But I'm hoping. But if I had to put my money, if I had to bet it on who gets the contract extension as of today, March 30th, 2023, I would lean towards Montez Sweat, because at the time being, he's the better player and the more consistent, and he's the healthier of the two. But it would be advantageous for Washington fans and for the team, and it would unlock a level of the defense we haven't seen yet if 99 has a breakout season and turns to what we all expected him to be when he was drafted here, number 2 overall during the COVID season, 2020. Predator, 99, Chase, we need you to ball, my boy. We need you to ball, my boy. Get after it. Get in the gym. Get in the lab with Larry Johnson and them and learn how to use those mitts, my boy, because if you put that together with your athletic profile, Nobody should be able to stop you off the edge. But that's all I got for right now. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Holla at your boy. We are 28 days away from the NFL draft. Chase Young, we need you, big dog. Get to work. Deuces.